Hey guys!
Alright guys, so we're here to do the second video as promised on this double header. And this is a video that the girlfriend of one of the band members, she's a friend of mine, she sent me a message and said, you know, would you guys check out this video? My boyfriend's band is putting some new music out. This is their latest video. Would you guys give it a spin on the channel? Perhaps, you know, get some buzz going and other people interested in checking out their music. And I said, of course, like, I mean, what friends for?
Yeah.
If not for these kind of things. Well, also to come and pick you up on the side of the road when your car breaks down at 2 o'clock in the morning on your way home from a concert. You know, that's another thing a good friend is good for. You know, better than calling CAA. All right. On that note, because that's the main difference between friends and acquaintances.
Yeah.
Remember, I have a lot of acquaintances, but not a lot of friends.
You told me about the story where you're in Portugal that you found out who was your true friends out of your group of friends.
Yeah, when I was sick.
Yeah.
Was the only people that came to visit me when I was really sick. But that was like, I was like 14 at the time.
Yeah.
But I learned a valuable lesson.
The people who came to see you were your
The
true
people
friends.
who came to see me, there was a friend of mine that actually came to see me every single day. That I was bedridden for like a month and a half, and he came to see me every single day.
That's
And he would buy comic books, and he would bring me comic books so that I would have something to read. Now that's a true friend. No, that's a true friend. That's how you find out. It's in the times of need. It's how you find out who your real friends are. All right. Anyways, the Arson Choir is the name of the band. The name of the song is Revenge.
That's a cool band name.
The Arson Choir.
The Arson Choir.
That is a badass name, by the way. Really bad. You know, a good name for a school band.
Yeah.
If you're putting like a band together at school to perform at like some school function, call it the Arson Choir. That badass name. All right, the name of the song is Revenge, My Love. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
All right, let's check this out. Holy. Wow. 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 Can I go first here?
Yeah.
The first thing I was going to say is when the names started to pop up at the end of the video, I was like, they're going to run out of screen for all the names. That was the first thing that I thought, because there's the names that we know, but there's also the names that nobody knows.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the names that nobody knows are far...
Wasn't Tamir Rice the little kid that had like the BB gun?
Oh, I don't know. You're perhaps right. I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way, I felt that they're gonna run out of space
Yeah.
for names, because like I said, there's the names that of the ones that we know, but
there's
imagine
the
the
ones
ones
we
that
don't.
never get documented, that nobody knows about what has happened. So that to me, and so it was nice how then they start just popping up everywhere. I really like what they did there. So I want to say that first, and rest in peace to all of them. I mean, like, unnecessary lives taken.
Yeah.
You know, like it's unreal, the world that we're living in these days. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. The second thing that I wanted to say, that this perhaps is the soundtrack to the 2020 riots.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you're planning on partaking in riots, or I shouldn't say riots, because I'm not a big fan necessarily of the riots.
Protests.
Protests. Yes, I used the wrong word. I'm not a fan of the riots, because I don't think that's the right. I can understand how things escalate,
Yeah.
and I can understand that there's people involved that are not necessarily there for the right reasons. They're there just to like create shit and break shit up. And
Yeah.
anytime you have a large gathering of people, you always going to have a small group that it's there for the wrong reasons. I used to be a part of supporter groups here in North America and in Portugal, like ultras, like, you know, follow the soccer team, you know, because you would come with us.
Yeah.
And when we used to go to Columbus, just to give an example, when we used to go to Columbus, there used to be like 3,000, 4,000 of us from Toronto going to Columbus. And every time we went to Columbus, shit always went down. Things always got broken. Police always got involved. Tear gas, tasing.
There's the people there for the actual game, and then
There's
people
ones
there
they hide within the crowd, right? Because you feel like you're covered by the large numbers, so you almost infiltrate those groups just with the purpose of creating starting shit up for whatever the reason might be. I'm not judging the reasons. I'm just saying it happens. I know. I've been involved in that situation where you see people that you don't even know, what the hell are they here, and now they're doing this, and then because they're part of the group that you're with, you almost feel obliged that you have to deal with them because they're with you, and then people see you as they see them. It's a really strange thing. So what I meant was not the riots. I meant is the protest. This is the soundtrack to the protests that happened in 2020. And by the way, I don't know out there, but when I was a kid, I remember the first time that I saw ACAB. You know, all cops are bastards. You know, the initials. As a kid, the first time that I saw that in Portugal on a wall, I had no idea what it meant. Honestly, I had no clue. I was like maybe 10, 11 or something like that. So I remember seeing that, and I remember seeing the anarchy symbol and having no clue what that was. And I remember going to school and asking one of my teachers, like, you know, I saw this graffiti on the wall, and learning about what those words meant, and about politics, about social awareness. And I remember that part of my life, and music was a huge part of my life. And punk music at that time, I was listening to NoFX, Pennywise, Rancid. I was listening to a lot of New York Dolls, like to go even further back, Ramones. Like I was listening to a lot of punk bands at that time, and that influenced me a lot in terms of how I saw the world from a political perspective and how I saw the world around me. Also, and I'm taking this completely now on a side journey, but we'll get back to the music. I'll never forget, around that same time, I remember a cop threatened to shoot me at the beach because we were surfing, and he was off duty, and we were coming out of the water, and as we're changing our clothes, we're taking our wet, like our suit, like our, you know, we use for surfing. We were taking it off, and you know, we were naked because we have to take it off. But we're not like we're pantsing around naked. We're just taking it off so that we can dry ourselves and put clothes on. And he came over. He was off duty, and he had his gun. And he's like, you know, if you guys don't get the hell out of here, for like, you know, he didn't say hell, but if you don't get out of here, I'll shoot you. Like, you know, I have my daughters here, and you guys are like he took it as we're like, you know, exposing ourselves. And his daughters were there. Yeah. His daughters were our age because we all went to school together. I knew who the cop was. I knew who his daughters were. And I remember the answer that I gave the cop at the time. That just tells you, like, you're young and you feel, when you're young, you feel like you're invincible, right? So I remember turning to the cop and saying to him, saying something to him like, you know, like, what the fuck? Like, I had a, you know, I just like, you know, like, you see a guy with a gun, like, you're like, what the fuck, right? But I didn't want to say too much at that time because I didn't feel like, I was really scared shitless. Like, it's not every day that you're putting in that kind of position. So I was really scared shitless. But I remember at the same time, I'm like, this is not right. Something has to be done. And I remember I went home and I told my dad and what happened. And my dad's like, whatever. He was just joking. You know, he's just trying to scare you guys off. I'm like, I don't care if he's joking or not.
Man, had a gun.
We gotta go to the police station. We gotta file a report because this kind of shit, like, it's totally uncalled for. And my dad is somebody that's really well known in the community. So when we went to the police station, the cop said to my dad, "Oh, I was just joking. You know, I knew he was your. You know, I knew who he was. I knew he was your son." And I said, "How did you know who I was?" Like, at the time I had like long hair and stuff like that. You know, looked like a hippie, right? So I was like, "How the fuck did you know who I was?" I said to him, "Oh, my daughters recognized you." I was like, "By my dick? I've never talked to them in my life." And this, I remember, I was so pissed off that that's the answer that I gave him. Right? Like, I'm sure the guy didn't shoot me because he was in the police station and my dad was there and whatever. But I felt at that time that I could finally say what I wanted to say because I had, you know, I had some protect. If I said that to him at the beach, he probably would have shot me, right? So it just goes that everybody has their own personal experiences, their own stories that they... To me, that story stayed with me for two reasons. For the complete abuse of power that an off-duty police officer took towards a 12-year-old kid, 12, 13, I was 12, 13 at the time, 12, 13-year-old kid and my buddies, there were two other guys with me. That's the first aspect. The second aspect that I'll never forget was the laissez-faire, laissez-passer attitude that my dad had. He was just joking. Like, seriously? Like,
that's a joke?
Like, so I was really pissed off at my father that I had to force him for him to go to the police station and file a report, which nothing ever came of it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, whatever. It is what it is. But anyways, but the cop from that point on, like, you know, every time we crossed each other, like, we always had like, he would give me a look and I would give him a look and whatever. But to me, that story stayed with me. From the impact of being threatened by a police officer with a gun to the part about my parents not taking seriously enough to go to the police station and file a report. Perhaps they knew nothing would come of it. But to me, it's not the point of nothing coming from it. Was I wanted him to know that what he did was wrong and I'm going to stand up for it at the right time. And this just goes to another point. Sometimes you have to pick your battles and where you're going to fight them. On what hill are you planning on dying on for your battles? I felt at that time at 12 years old that if I had said what I said to him at the police station in person, he would have shot me. Or at least he could have, maybe not shot me, but he probably would have beaten the crap out of me, right? So I picked my battles. I was smart enough, intelligent enough to know that this is not the right time to fight this battle. I got to pick a different spot for it and then go forward from there. And that moment in time changed how I viewed police officers. Not in general, but some police officers, specifically the ones that policed in my town, because that's the experience that I had. So I can relate to people who don't feel necessarily confident in the police officers that patrol their neighborhoods because they probably have similar experiences. And I know I'm not painting everybody with the same brush here. I'm not saying everybody's the same. But also, if you don't want to be painted on with that brush, then you have to stand up for those that do those things. And on the same token, you should not paint everybody who went and protest with the same brush of being anarchists and looters. And it goes both ways. You cannot paint one side with the same brush, and you cannot paint the other side all with the same brush. Not everybody who lives in the ghetto is a criminal. You know what I mean? Not everybody who's a minority is an illegal immigrant. You know what I mean? Not every cop is a bad apple. There's good and bad in every level of society and in every single place. I'm just sharing, because of this video, I'm sharing my personal experience that I had. And it marked me. It always... I'll never forget that story. It'll stay with me forever. Because it was something that was really out of the ordinary. Like,
every day you're on the beach and a cop comes up to you and says...
No, and it was not even a public beach. This was like it was like a deserted beach where normally people only go for two things there: surf because the waves were really good, or nudists would go there because it's not like your main beach like in front of the town. There's not many people there. There's not many people there, so people go there for isolation, right? So I was shocked that he was there with his family, and I didn't know he was there with. It's not like we were. Grabbing our dicks and waving them around. That's not what we were doing. Plus, there was shrinkage. We just came from the ocean. There's not much to show. You know what I mean? So, it is what it is. I just wanted to tell that story because to me it had a huge impact. And it has somewhat to do with the topic of the video. Now, what did you think?
I mean,
Long story to get to this point. But
Yeah.
I apologize.
But it's an amazing story. I mean, the first time you told it to me, I was pretty shocked that happened in your small town. And, I mean, the song was absolutely badass and it kicked some ass.
I love this song.
And especially the lyrics of the song, I have to go back and really dive into the lyrics because, I mean, I was more focused on the whole, like, anger of the song.
So much
but
aggression.
then I was listening to some of the lyrics and I'm like, oh, this is about
what's happening
now. And then all the names and, like, this song is a perfect soundtrack to what we're doing, like what's happening now.
I love the song. I love the intensity that the track has, and I love the pure raw emotion that it has. It really captures everything, really well put together, really condensed, and it's just a burst of energy. It's just a burst of energy. I just want to say one more thing, which is I want to reiterate what I just said, and that goes to you too, because your mother is Indian, I'm Portuguese, so you're mixed. Technically, you're part of a visible minority. So always learn to
pick your battles.
Pick your battles and where you're going to take that battle. Decide if that's the hill that you're willing to die on or not. And sometimes it's better to just say yes sir, no sir, yes sir, and bite your tongue and swallow your pride and be able to live another day and then fight that battle in court. Like, fight it in court, fight it, come home, talk to me, we'll
fight it in a place
fight it in the right safe. Exactly. Fight it in a place where there's safety for you to have at least a fair chance of winning that fight. Because if you take the wrong approach at the wrong place, regardless if you're right or wrong, you may not be around then to tell the story later. So it's very important for us to pick which hill we want to die on when it comes to fighting our battles. I feel it's really important. It's not being a coward. It's not taking the easy way out. No, it's just be intelligent, pick the right approach, pick the right time, fight it in the right place. On the side of the road, late at night when you're coming home from your friend's party, is definitely not the right place to fight any battle whatsoever. That's why we have the court system. We still have to believe that it's going to hold through and be there for those that are put in a situation like that. All right. Wow. I can't believe a 2.5 minute song is taking us on almost a 20-minute video, but it is what it is.
Yeah, the song had a powerful message. So.
It did have a powerful message. And I think for some people it may not resonate because they've never experienced it, while for others it will. And you cannot dismiss something just because it's not in front of you and just because it's never happened to you. Just because something never happened to you, it doesn't mean it's not real. It doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Take some time, listen to what people say, and be a little bit more caring. Show a little bit more empathy for those that perhaps have to go through difficulties in their life that you perhaps never have to go through for whatever the reason. Maybe you have a better financial situation and you don't have to go through the hardships that other people have to go through. So to me, I can relate. I can relate. Not it's a difficult topic of conversation because people right now are really divided. There seems to be no middle ground. Either you're on one side or the other.
Yeah.
But to me, there's no one side or the other. To me, there's the right side, which is standing for those that didn't have anybody to stand for them. That is the right side. And everybody should be on that side, regardless if you're a police officer or you're not. Everybody should stand for the same thing, which is we all want to be treated as equal. Yeah. We want to be treated as human beings with civility, with proper decor,
with
respect, and all of that. All of that. You know what I mean? I feel that, I don't want to continue on this rant, but I feel that sometimes people watch a video of an animal, of a dog being beaten up, and they get more offended by that than they do of a human being being beaten up. The immediately, when it's a human being being beaten up, not immediately, but a lot of people go, oh, you must have done something wrong. Do you know what I mean? So, we're all in this together. We're all in this together. And we all have to be there for each other. And we have to stand for those that can't stand for themselves. The moment we lose that, we're doomed. Yeah. We're doomed. That's it. That's my rant for the day. I wasn't planning on talking about this. This is heavy shit.
Yeah.
All right. Nice track. Nice song. Kick some ass. On that note, come back tomorrow. We'll have more videos. See you guys.
See ya.